What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is October the 22nd. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data, don't really have all that much that's coming out today. Rather, the market's going to be digesting companies unveiling their earnings. So we do have after hours today, Tesla. Right now, the market is going to be digesting Netflix's earnings, which came out yesterday. So that's going to be the big thing for today. At the same time, we do have some big data coming out Thursday and Friday. So you might have some institutions start speculating on that. But for the most part, things seem to be pretty okay-ish, although we are seeing somewhat mixed feelings on the futures. So Dow is flat, S&P up 0.11, NASDAQ up 0.11. So it's kind of just waiting. And we are seeing somewhat low volume with most of the stocks, except for some squeeze plays, which I'll go over in a second. Going into today, Fear and Greed Index is kind of stuck at 29. It was going back and forth between kind of 27 and 29 yesterday. So generally it does want to move higher. So people's appetite for risk in theory is improving. So that's something as well to keep in mind. But getting right to it, Sofi is down 0.83%. Nothing really crazy, just it's done fairly well recently, and it's not really getting that much volume during the pre-market. So I think that's why it's pushing a little bit lower. But then again, we've seen that happen, and Sofi just does what it wants, goes higher. So I'm not too worried about that whatsoever. When it comes down to shorts, 9.3% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 109.42 million shares overall being shorted. Shorts didn't do all that much yesterday, so I don't really anticipate them to do much today. Probably be a little bit more active, I would assume, Thursday and Friday. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Aside from that, with that 28.54, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 29.19 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, which could happen. We've seen a burst of just institutional buying causing it to go higher, sometimes no rhyme or reason to it. And then 25.40 is going to be the next strong support. So just kind of watch for that today. NIO. So nothing really crazy coming out, some speculative things operationally, which I'll go over in my dedicated NIO video, but it's getting some good attention today, which is always very welcomed. Shorts right now during the pre-market are returning 1.12 million shares. So of course, by then returning that amount, it does add a lot of buying pressure. So they are also one reason why NIO is kind of moving higher. 11.78% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 163.1 million shares overall being shorted. As what I have mentioned time and time again, it feels like for the last 2 weeks, $7. That is going to be that key point. You really want to watch for it to ideally get above. Yesterday it didn't really have enough. It had a high of $6.92, but $7 is going to be that kind of key point. Of course, any stock really failing to get over a key resistance in the short term, you're going to see some consolidation. And I feel like today with NIO, if it does fail to get above 7, then this is where you could see some further consolidation. And that same type of price action did happen at that R1 at that 783. Moving on, Beyond Meat. This stock is on fire. So currently up 79, or now 83%. During the pre-market, it did have a high, I think almost of like $8. They did put out news, or there was a SEC filing that came out after hours yesterday, which is a amended 13G, and it did signal that this company right here, so Context Capital, did sell out all of their position, and they did previously have 20 plus million shares. So they decided to kind of take some profits. It's kind of funny though, because if we see some of the price action that did happen so far during the pre-market, they kind of missed out on a lot. So it did have a high of, it looks like 870-ish or 850 for the most part. So crazy stuff. When it comes down to shorts, this is where things get very interesting, because in theory, yesterday they did increase about 4 million shares. So 81.86% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 51.8 million shares overall are being shorted. Short score 71.27, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. So a lot of people are going to be all over this, and we've gone through these types of cycles in the past. So clearly, whoever is shorting Beyond Meat is shorting many other kind of meme stocks for the most part, because typically whenever you see them all move up at the same time, it goes to show that someone is mitigating some risk. So another one that is getting a lot of volume. So I think Beyond Meat is number 1. This is number 2. So Krispy Kreme, DNUT, and it is up 22.37%. So that is number 1 and number 2 for the volume during the pre-market. And we've seen them move together. So maybe in a dedicated video, I'll kind of do some overlap of a lot of the meme-ish stocks, such as even GoPro. So yeah, I think in general, this one is getting a lot of volume because of that. 30.18% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 25.89 million shares overall being shorted. So just anticipate shorts to be fairly active with both of the stocks. When it comes down to Beyond Meat, it is above all the key fib levels, so I'm not even going to waste your time for that. In Krispy Kreme's case, it is right now below this R3, so just watch for 450 to be that kind of key breakout point, and if it's able to get above that, then 543 is on the table. Flip side, 414 is going to be a strong support, so just watch for that if there is a certain level of consolidation. And then interestingly enough, some people might not want to hear it, but possibly this could be considered, I guess, a meme stock because it is part of the Roundhill meme ETF, but nonetheless it is getting a lot of volume, just regrettably not really moving higher. So it is down slightly, 0.86%, but there hasn't really been all that much in news, in articles, or anything like that. Shorts, they've been holding on for dear life, so 21.5% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 152.7 million shares overall being shorted. Couple key points to watch for with this stock, with it at 690, trading between this pivot and this S1, so $5 is going to be a strong support. I don't see that being touched whatsoever. I'm looking at the one-day chart on a side note. So very strong support and resistance points. So 507 and then 765 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. If you want a little bit more tighter knit, looking at the 4 hour. So if you're kind of a swing trader or day trader, 728 and then 686 is going to be the next strong support and targets. So again, if you're kind of wanting to dollar cost average, day trade, or whatever else, just kind of watch for that. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.